Hey there, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Foul Territory. I'm your host, Mike Smith. We're about halfway through the summer season, and, it's been a great year so far. We've had a lot of twists and turns, little surprises, and right now the wheat is starting to separate itself from the chaff, so to speak. I think one thing that you're seeing in both the single A and the double A divisions this year is that, you got a couple teams at the top, but there's a lot of parity in this league. There's a lot of teams scratching for playoff spots. And, obviously, come June, come July, that's a beautiful thing in terms of baseball. Over the last 2 weeks, we've had the last two undefeated teams left both take their first loss. Last week, it was the Whitestone Nationals falling to the Bronx Titans for their first loss in the single A division. This week, in a rain-shortened game, the Titans lost their first game to Too Hot and ace Braylon Perez. That was something that I know Too Hot was very excited about. And I think a lot of teams in the Double A were excited about because it proves that, if it bleeds, you can kill it. So now that nobody's perfect anymore, we just got to get right back down to baseball. A little bit later today, I'll be joined by Francisco Santiago of the Astoria Mets. But first, I want to bring on the manager of the second-place team in the Double A division from the Bronx Orioles, Glenn Mulero. And Glenn, thanks for coming on for your first time ever.
Oh, no, thank you, Mike, for having me.
Well, you know what? I wanted to ask, because you guys came into the league last year, had a great season, and you fell. I think it was in the Bronx Division Finals, correct?
Yeah, Game 3.
So, coming in to this year, knowing that you were one game away last year, what was your thought process as a coach of how you wanted to put this team together for 2015 to help you guys compete and kind of get over that hump?
It was tough, but the only reason it was tough is because last year was one of my greatest baseball experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So losing that Game 3, I mean, the way we lost, when we had over 10 errors, we didn't deserve to make it to the championship. But it was disappointing in the fact that the season was over, so I wasn't going to see these guys on a weekly basis. So that's probably the main reason I was disappointed. So I took some time off and didn't really want to think about baseball. And I think within November or December, Matt Ortiz, he wanted to get started on recruiting and getting these players on board, and we wanted to make sure that we kept we wanted to bring guys that would feed off to the chemistry that we had the year prior. So we didn't want to bring guys that were going to be complaining on the bench. We wanted to have players that were team players, guys that would come in, just work in the system. Just basically wanted to play baseball every weekend, and we focused more on that than trying to get the most talented player.
Well, I got to say it's definitely worked out for you so far this year. I mean, you guys are 10-2. You're playing some great ball. Overall, what have been your thoughts on the way that the team has played together and the chemistry that you guys have shown?
Yeah, the chemistry has been awesome, and I sent a team text out a couple of days ago letting them know that I appreciate everything that's going on here, that something special is being built every weekend on this team, and everybody should just take time out and enjoy it instead of just putting that unnecessary pressure of coming out every weekend and trying to get these wins. Just enjoy it, win or lose. I just enjoy watching this team play. With the new additions, I mean, everybody just accepted their roles coming onto this team, so there's really no complaining. So the chemistry is just building every weekend, and it's just amazing to see.
Now, I wanted to ask, because you guys come out the first week of the season, you get square off against the Bronx Titans, who are kind of your rivals there, and they beat you twice, and you guys respond by going on a great run, winning 10 in a row. Do you think that kind of speaks to the character of your team and kind of how you've grown since day one from this year?
Oh, absolutely. I remember that after losing to the Titans, none of our guys were worried of the fact that we lost to the Titans. We were more concerned on, it's opening day and we came out really flat. And I know we had a bye weekend the following weekend, and then we were just, I was saying to myself that, we need to come out a little bit stronger the following game. We came out, I guess, opening day against the Titans, we came out, we had the lead in both games. So it was kind of weird. And we came out with the lead in both games. We gave up two big innings, one in game one and another big inning in game two. And it just didn't feel right. So we had a bye the following weekend. So that sat there for 2 weeks. So I was there thinking, and I remember Cologne was telling me that there's a possibility we might not play that weekend we were supposed to. I think it was week 3. So that would have been 3 weekends without playing ball. So I told him that we need to work something out. I need to play that weekend. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so eager to get back out on the field and really test my team.
Well, of course. And the one thing about your team, when everyone looks at the Orioles, they look at the batting averages, and you got a bunch of guys. I think most of your everyday players, so to speak, are hitting 330 or better. But the one thing that kind of jumped out at me is that you guys have been getting some really good pitching performances this year. What can you say about the job that some of the guys? I mean, obviously everyone knows Cabrera. But you've had some other guys step up as well. So what can you say about the job that they've done this year?
Well, Cabrera definitely. I mean, Cabrera's going to do Cabrera.
Yep.
He's been doing it for as long as he's been doing it. But he's actually he's done a great job with the other guys on board too. This year we had a pitcher by the name of Mike Matty that pitched against the Mud Hens to get us our first win, and he's out for the season. So we had other guys like Odalis Ortiz, we have Carlos Tejada, we have Francisco from last year, we have another Francisco. Everybody's just knows their role, and when they get the opportunity, they want to shine, they want to do their part, and they want to be part of this winning method that we got going on here.
Now, so, I know that the playoff situation is a little bit different this year, and I'm still... I'm still a little bit unclear, but I think that the fact is it really pays off to be the 1 or the 2 seed. Is that something that you've kind of been stressing as you guys have gone along the season, that your road to the championship will be easier if you can secure that 1 seed or that 2 seed?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's very important because if you're landing within the 3rd, the 4th or the 5th or the 6th seed, it's a single elimination game. Like, literally anything can happen in those games. And I didn't stress it to the guys, but I stressed it to myself. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't care about the top seed of this division. All I cared about was the top 2. So if we were the 2nd seed or the 1st seed, doesn't matter. I just wanted those top 2 so we could get that bye, because that game, that double elimination game 1 is very important to win, because you want to be in that winner's bracket. You don't want to really start off in that loser's bracket. I mean, anything can happen with the method of this playoffs, and I think it's going to show who's really the best team in this league.
Well, yeah, and obviously we have a long time before, people really start to talk about playoffs and where everyone's going to be seated. But,
right.
Where you guys are right now, you seem to be in a comfortable spot. What do you do as a manager to kind of keep these guys focused kind of on their task each week in going out and winning games when, you guys have started to get on a roll? I mean, how do you kind of reel everybody in and keep them focused?
I show them how much I appreciate them. I mean, literally after every game, I will text some of the guys. I would even have conversations with certain players and let them know how much I appreciate them, just to continue to play hard for me, keep working and playing hard, and we'll get there. We're not that great defensively. Let me rephrase that. We're good defensively. I just think that we could be a lot better, and I always feel that defense and pitching wins titles.
No, definitely.
And if we could get to where I believe where we could get defensively, I think we're going to be very, very tough to beat. And I always tell these guys how much I appreciate them. And I think with the comfort level with the players that I have, the comfort level I have with the players on this team is just, it's incredible. It's everybody, everybody respects each other. I have the respect of the players. They have my respect. And like I said, I just love watching this team play every weekend.
Now, I haven't really looked at your schedule for the rest of the season. Do you guys get another chance to match up against the Titans this year?
From what I'm hearing, we do, but it's not on the schedule. So I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be the last weekend of the season. But yeah, I don't really want to look ahead into that. And when that time comes, we're going to enjoy it, man. We're going to enjoy that matchup because we match up so well against the Titans.
All right. Well, Glenn, I appreciate you coming on, and I wish you guys the best of luck this year. You guys have a tremendous team. You're a classy bunch of guys, and we definitely enjoyed playing you, except for the losses. So, best of luck out there, and we hope to see you guys in the playoffs.
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me, man, and good luck in the rest of the way.
All right. Take care, man. All right, so that was Glenn Mulero from the AA Bronx Orioles. Now we're going to focus on the Single-A division, and with me I've got one of the guys leading this Mets team this year, Francisco Santiago. Francisco, how's it going, man?
Good. I'm doing really good.
Good. You know what? I know that you guys have had a pretty good year so far. And I know that it has a lot to do with your teammates, but looking at the stats this year, you're having quite a year at the plate. So before we get to anything else.
Right now, I was actually leading the league in RBIs for most of the year, and Mark from the Braves just went past me because he hit a 2-run homer.
Well, that'll do it. That'll do it.
And we had a bye, so we didn't play last week. I think the big change is I've been improving. Like last summer, I hit 300, and then in the fall I hit 350, and now I'm hitting 400. And I think the big change was I actually took no time off this year.
So you just played straight through from the winter, kept on swinging?
Right. I've been playing baseball for 18 months straight because the fall ended on November 15th, and we actually kept practicing till the end of the year. Maybe, not every week, but maybe every other week, we would go outside and have batting practice and fielding practice. I mean, not everyone came. Maybe 7 or 8 guys came. Most of the people didn't come, but a good half the team came, and because it was still warm in December, and then we went right into the cages in January. So I actually had no layoff. So I think that's one of the biggest parts of it.
Well, it's not just you, because, looking at the averages on your team, you got a lot of guys hitting the ball at a pretty good clip this year. Were you surprised at all with the way that you guys have come out this season and swung the bats?
No, because that's what I said. We practice straight through. And we've always been practicing starting in January. See, before I became manager of the team, I really didn't want to start baseball till after the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Right, so when the Super Bowl would happen, and I wanted to start in the cages that following weekend, in February. But then when I played on the Yankees A for 2 years. Right, Ed Lamar, he invented what I call Ed Lamar Day, right? So he said, no, we're going to start in January. So I said, fine, we'll start the weekend after New Year's. But he booked the cage the week between Christmas and New Year's, and I really didn't want to go. He said, hey, I already paid for the cage. So we were forced to start playing baseball on the Sunday between Christmas and New Year's, which I call Ed Lamar Day. So now our team starts on that day.
Well, I'll tell you, if there's a guy that you're going to take stuff from, Ed Lamar is a good baseball mind, so not a terrible idea.
I learned a lot. Because I played for him for 2 years, also in the fall on the Yankees A, and I learned a lot of coaching stuff from him, even about pitchers, because I'm really just a relief pitcher. I don't pitch very much, but I learned a lot of stuff because he used to be the coach of St. John's. And so a lot of the stuff I learned from him, I'm even coaching my own pitchers now.
Well, and I was going to ask about your pitchers too, because this year you got kind of a three-headed monster out there. Simpkins, obviously, who people know about, and Jeff Applebaum, but he also added a veteran kid in Suero.
Suero's improved a lot this year. See, also, Simpkins was kind of busy at work, so he really didn't pitch much in the preseason. Mm-hmm. And when the season started, he really had only thrown 1 or 2 innings, so he couldn't have pitched 5 to 7 innings at the beginning. So Suero started with that, and now Simpkins was relieving, and now really all 3 of them are pitching. It kind of depends, who shows up a particular weekend. If somebody can't make it on one of the weekends. And then we have the 2 of them pitch, and then if all of them come, then one of them will relieve.
Well, it looks like you guys are kind of situated well for kind of the dog days of summer ahead. From a coaching standpoint, how happy are you with the way that the team has been playing to this point, just kind of overall?
I'm very happy because last year we came in third, right? I mean, it was the first year was our first year. We had the 8th seed. We just barely made the playoffs, and we played strongly against the Dodgers in the first round, who ended up winning the championship. And our goal coming back was just to win a round of the playoffs, to go further, and we were able to do that. We had the 3rd seed. So, like what I had told the guys during the year was, if you finish in the Final Four, you avoid the wild card, the elimination game, and you guarantee the first round 3-game series.
Mm-hmm.
So and we got that. We got the 3rd seed, and we beat the Bulls, and we went to the semifinals, and we lost to the Yankees A, who were the eventual champions. We lost in Game 3, tying run thrown out at the plate and a tag up in the 7th inning. So
well,
it was,
So obviously you guys had some unfinished business coming into this year.
Yeah. So then that's our goal. Our goal is staying the same. We just want a Final Four finish, and we feel like we're in the mix for the championship. There are a lot of good teams out there right now. I think the strongest team so far is the Warriors, who came back to the league. They were in the league many years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they went to the Parade Grounds League, and now they came back, and they're very strong. We played them in the preseason. We beat them in the preseason, but they didn't have a lot of the people there, and we haven't played them yet. They've been winning a lot of games. We're going to play them, I think, in 3 weeks, and that's a big challenge for our guys. The other teams that are doing well is the Gotham, which were the Angels last year. They've also gotten a lot of new people. We played them also in the preseason and beat them, but they had a lot of college kids that weren't there, and now these guys have arrived, and they swept us. And that's like really the worst thing we did the whole year was, losing those 2 games to them. But they're very strong, and they're improved also. And
because I was going to say, it looks like the Nationals started out great. They're 8-1 now. You've got the Warriors, like you said, the Bats, the Braves, who I think you play this weekend, and
we're playing the Braves.
And one team that didn't start out great but seems to kind of be turning that corner is the Bronx Titans. When you add all these teams kind of in that mix, this looks to be a really, really competitive division this year. Would you agree?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of parity. I think the Titans are a team that's right now, they had a slow start, but they still scare me. We're going to play them also in several weeks. They could easily jump back into it. And the Nationals improved a lot. My understanding is I think they got 2 AA players. There were a number of AA teams that folded.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe they got a catcher and a third baseman from AA team. I haven't seen them yet because we didn't play them yet, and we didn't play them in the preseason. But I see that they have a 3 and 4 hitter that are hitting like 400 and 500. So they've had a resurgence also. And don't forget, there's some of the 500 teams are pretty good too. I mean, you have the Bulls and the Skyscrapers, which we split with both of them.
Yeah, I mean, those are teams who definitely know how to win games right there.
Yeah. So it's very parity division. It's very competitive. I think what's separating the teams is the teams at the top have 3 good pitchers. They're able to put 2 good starters on both games, and they have 1 good reliever that can come into a game if they're winning and close it out. The teams that are at the bottom tend to have only really 1 good pitcher. So what they're doing is they're winning 1 game, and then they're losing the other game, so they're splitting every week.
Yep, and you never know. I mean, sometimes mid-season pickups, you get another arm, and all of a sudden you're right back in it. So, this weekend, as you said, you play the Braves. You guys are battling it out there in the standings. What are you expecting to see? What's that?
It's an important game for us, the Braves, because they have this guy Showtime, who's right now probably the favorite for the Cy Young.
Mm-hmm.
He already has 50 strikeouts, and Historically in the Metro League, to win the Cy Young, generally you would want to get 100 strikeouts and 10 wins and a low ERA, but not super low, because if you pitch that many innings, it's no way you were going to have like a 0 ERA or like a 1 ERA. But so he's right on track for that, because he already has 50 strikeouts approaching the midpoint of the season. And then Mark, their first baseman, is the guy who's ahead of me in the MVP race, because he's leading the league in average, and he's passing in RBIs, and he has 2 home runs now. One guy has 3. One guy on the Warriors has 3 home runs.
Jeff Lagares, I believe.
Yeah. So he's in play almost for a triple crown. So they're. I think also that the second game pitcher is not that good, so I feel like we can win that game.
Mm-hmm.
But the first game against Showtime is a big deal, so that's really going to be the challenge for us. I haven't seen him yet, but I understand that he throws like 80 to 85.
Yeah, he can bring it a little bit, but you know what? I tell you what, I'm going to do my best to make it down to. You guys are playing at Clemente, right?
Yeah, it's Clemente. Saturday at 9 a.m. I'm actually not going to be there. I'm going away for the weekend, but Rob, my coach, is going to be in charge.
Well, you know what? I wish you guys the best of luck. I'll take some pictures of you guys this weekend. Sorry you won't be there, but I just wanted to thank you for stopping on and having a chat with me.
Yeah, great. Anytime. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. Again, that was Francisco Santiago from the Astoria Mets. The Mets will be playing the Manhattan Braves this Saturday at Roberto Clemente Field, and that one's starting at 9 a.m. That's about all the time we have for this edition of Foul Territory. The Mudhens have a bye this week, thankfully, give me a little me time, but I will be around at the fields, hopefully going to check out the Rail Splitters and Too Hot. I know Too Hot's, as I said, riding very high after their win over the Titans. But basically, I'm just hoping for another weekend of good NYCMBL action. Hope you guys all have a good time out there on the field, and until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep it between the lines.